I always knew the cost of being the good daughter was high. I just never expected to find out exactly how high, or that my own family had been doubling the price behind my back. My name is Isabel, and until 3 months ago, I was living in my childhood home, sharing space with my parents and my older brother Carson. At 28, I knew it wasn't ideal, but Mom's guilt trips about keeping the family together were Olympic level, and Dad's speeches about pooling resources seemed logical enough. Besides, someone had to be responsible while Carson chased his dreams of tech startup glory. Have you seen these numbers? Rachel dropped a stack of printouts on my desk during lunch break. My friend and fellow accountant had been pestering me to review my finances for weeks. Your monthly withdrawals are insane. It's just the mortgage share and utilities, I said, taking another bite of my sandwich. Plus groceries and... No. Rachel jabbed her finger at a line item. Look closer. I leaned in, squinting at the transaction history. There it was. KR Tech Consultancy. $12,500 transferred on the 15th, and again on the 30th. Every month, for the past year. That's not possible, I whispered, my sandwich forgotten. I never authorized... Keep looking. Rachel's voice was gentle but firm. There's more. She was right. Beyond the mysterious tech company payments, my share of the mortgage was nearly double what we'd agreed upon. The utilities seemed inflated too. All told, almost 70% of my salary was disappearing into family expenses, far more than the fair share my parents had guilted me into. That night at dinner, Mom was serving her famous lasagna when I decided to test the waters. So, Carson, how's the startup going? I asked, keeping my voice casual. He barely glanced up from his phone. Great! We're this close to landing major investors. Davis says... That's wonderful, honey. Mom beamed. See, Isabel? Your brother's going to make it big. We all just need to support each other until then. Speaking of support, I said, Dad, could you explain something about the mortgage payments? The fork stopped halfway to his mouth. What about them? Well, I was reviewing my statements today. Oh, Isabel, Mom interrupted. Don't be so obsessive about money. We're family. Everything works out in the end. Does it? I pulled out my phone, opened the banking app. Because I'm seeing some interesting transfers to KR Tech Consultancy. Care to explain? The silence was deafening. Carson's smirk disappeared. Dad suddenly became very interested in his plate. Mom's smile turned brittle. It's complicated, Dad finally said. The family needs to steal from me? My voice cracked. To lie! Don't be dramatic, Carson snapped. It's an investment in our future. Once my company takes off... How dare you accuse us of stealing? Mom's eyes welled with tears. After everything we've done for you, living here practically rent-free. I laughed. I couldn't help it. Rent-free! I'm paying most of the mortgage, and apparently funding Carson's pipe dreams too. You're being selfish, Dad said firmly. Family helps family. Your brother has real potential. And what about my potential? I stood up, hands shaking. What about my future? Oh, please. Carson rolled his eyes. You're an accountant. You've peaked. Mom reached for my hand. I pulled away. Sweetheart, we're just trying to do what's best for everyone. If you just understand, I understand perfectly. I looked at each of their faces. Mom's manipulative tears, Dad's stern disappointment, Carson's entitled disdain. Years of lies, exposed in an instant. You know what? You're right. Family should help family. They relaxed slightly, thinking they'd won. Again. I smiled, feeling something cold and certain settle in my chest. So tell me, if I stopped helping, how long do you think you'd last? Mom dropped her fork. Dad's face paled. Carson's smirk wavered. I pushed back from the table, appetite gone. Guess we'll find out. As I climbed the stairs to my room, I heard them start arguing in harsh whispers. I should have felt guilty. Instead, I felt something else. Freedom. The good daughter was done being good. I pulled out my phone and texted Rachel. You were right. Time to make some changes. Her response came instantly. About damn time. Want to apartment hunt tomorrow? I looked around my childhood bedroom at all the pieces of the life they'd guilted me into maintaining. Yes, I typed back. And Rachel, thank you for making me look at those numbers. That's what friends are for. Unlike family, we actually want what's best for you. She was right about that too. And I was about to show my family exactly what happens when you mistake kindness for weakness. The next morning, I called in sick to work and started digging. Rachel had taught me enough about digital forensics that accessing the family computer wasn't difficult, especially since Dad still used my birthday as his password. What I found made me wish I'd stayed ignorant. First came the emails, dozens of them, spanning back 18 months between Dad and Carson. She'll never notice if we increase the auto-transfer gradually. Just tell her utilities went up. Don't worry. Once we secure funding, we'll pay her back. Then the doctored mortgage statements, carefully edited to hide how much of my money was really going into the house. Bank transfer authorizations with my forged signature. Even a folder labeled Isabel's expenses that tracked exactly how much they could extract from me each month. My hands were shaking when I found the email from Mom to Dad. She's always been such a giving child. It's time she gave back to the family that raised her. Besides, Carson needs this chance more than she needs a savings account. I was still staring at the screen when I heard the front door open. Carson's voice drifted up the stairs. Davis says we're weeks away from the big break. Just need to keep the lights on a little longer. I printed everything. Every email. Every forged document. Every betrayal in black and white. That evening, I spread them across the dinner table before anyone could serve food. What's all this? Mom asked, her voice artificially light. You tell me. I pointed to her email. Apparently, I don't need a savings account as much as Carson needs his 10th chance at success. Dad stepped forward. Now, Isabel, don't. My voice was ice. I have your emails too, the ones where you planned how to steal from me gradually so I wouldn't notice. It wasn't stealing. Carson slammed his hand on the table. It was a temporary reallocation of family resources. I turned to him slowly. Did Davis help you come up with that line? Before or after you two lost the last round of investor money? His face went white. How did you— I'm an accountant, you idiot. Did you think I wouldn't eventually look into where my money was going? Your company's been officially dissolved for 3 months. You haven't had a business license since January. We're restructuring, he muttered. Mom tried to touch my shoulder. I stepped away. Sweetheart, you're making this sound so awful. We're just trying to help your brother achieve his dreams. And what about my dreams? I gestured to the papers. I've lost nearly $50,000 to this family in the past year alone. Money that was supposed to be for my future. You're being melodramatic, Dad said. Everything we did was legal. I held up the forged bank documents. Want to bet? Because I'm pretty sure fraud is still a crime. That shot him up. Isabel. Mom's voice turned sharp. I won't have you threatening your family like this, after everything we've sacrificed. You sacrificed? I laughed. What exactly have you sacrificed? Because from where I'm standing, you've all been living off my sacrifices while telling me I'm selfish for wanting anything for myself? Carson stood up, towering over me. You think you're so perfect? The responsible one? The good daughter? You're just jealous because you know I'm going to make it big while you count other people's money for the rest of your life. Sit down, I said quietly, before I call the police and show them exactly where their fraud investigation should start. He sat. Mom started crying, real tears this time, not the manipulative ones she usually deployed. How can you do this to us? To your family? Family? I picked up the stack of evidence. Family doesn't steal from each other. Family doesn't lie and forge signatures and gaslight their children into thinking they're selfish for wanting basic financial security. What do you want? Dad asked wearily. Nothing. I headed for the stairs. I don't want anything from any of you anymore. That's it? Carson called after me. You're just going to abandon your family when we need you most. I stopped, turned back one last time. You know what's funny? If you'd just asked, actually asked, not manipulated and lied, I probably would have helped you, because that's what family does. But you didn't want a sister. You wanted an ATM. Please, Mom whispered. Don't do anything rash. I smiled, and for the first time I felt nothing when she cried. Don't worry. I won't do anything rash. I'll do exactly what you taught me. Look out for myself first, and call it family loyalty. I left them there, surrounded by the evidence of their betrayal. In my room, I sent Rachel a text. Found an apartment yet? Her reply came quickly. Actually, I might have something perfect. How soon can you move? How's tomorrow? That fast? I looked at my bank accounts, already imagining them free from unauthorized transfers and family obligations. That fast. It's amazing how quickly you can move when you're not carrying dead weight anymore. The apartment Rachel found wasn't just perfect. It was salvation. Tabitha, the property manager, took one look at my face and seemed to understand everything. First month's rent, security deposit, and I can have you in by tomorrow, she said, leading me through the sunny one-bedroom. Sometimes people need a fresh start fast. I signed the lease using my middle name, Elizabeth. When Tabitha raised an eyebrow, I simply said, family issues. She nodded. I'll make sure your name isn't listed on any public directories. Back at work, I met with my supervisor. I'd like to transfer to the remote team in the Denver office. The position opened yesterday, she said. Your numbers are excellent, and they need someone with your experience. When can you start? How's next week? That afternoon, I opened new bank accounts at a different bank. The teller watched me close my old accounts with raised eyebrows. Family access issues, I explained, becoming familiar with the phrase. Say no more, she replied, typing faster. I'll make sure these new accounts have extra security protocols. Rachel helped me pack that night, after my family had gone to bed. We worked in silence, filling boxes with only what mattered. Documents, clothes, a few photos from before everything went wrong, my laptop, my grandmother's recipe box. They're going to lose their minds, Rachel whispered, taping another box. They're going to lose a lot more than that. I checked my phone. Another missed call from Mom. The mortgage is due next week. Should be interesting when they realize all their automatic payments have stopped. Are you sure about this? I held up my favorite coffee mug, then set it back down. They can keep it. They can keep everything. I'm done. At 2 a.m., we loaded the last box into Rachel's car. I took one final walk through my room, making the bed with hospital corners like Mom always insisted. On the desk, I left my old house key and a single post-it note. Goodbye. That's it? Rachel asked when I got back to the car. That's everything. We drove to my new apartment in the pre-dawn darkness. Tabitha was waiting, despite the hour. Welcome home, she said, handing me the keys. There's coffee in the kitchen. Seemed like you might need it. By sunrise, Rachel had helped me unpack the essentials and left for work. I sat on my new couch, the only furniture I'd bought so far, and watched my phone light up with notifications. 6:15 a.m. Mom. Where are you? 6:20 a.m. Dad. This is unacceptable behavior. 6:45 a.m. Carson. You selfish bitch. 7 a.m. Mom. Please come home. We can talk about this. 7:30 a.m. Dad. Your mother is hysterical. Call immediately. I blocked their numbers one by one. Then I emailed work. Starting remote work today instead of next week. Family emergency. My supervisor replied instantly. Approved. Take care of yourself. I spent the day setting up my new life, changed my mailing address, redirected all my bills, called every bank and credit card company to add extra security measures, ordered basic furniture for delivery. Around noon, Tabitha knocked with a housewarming gift, a small potted plant. It's hardy, she said. Hard to kill, even when transplanted. Reminds me of someone. I managed a smile. Thank you. They'll try to find you, she warned. Family usually does. Let them try. I touched one of the plant's leaves. I'm done being their safety net. That evening, Rachel came by with takeout and wine. Your mom showed up at the office looking for you. What did you tell her? That I hadn't seen you. HR already flagged them as potential security risks. I warned them you had stalking concerns. I poured more wine. They're going to paint me as the villain in this story. Let them. Rachel raised her glass. To choosing yourself. To freedom, I agreed. Later, alone in my new space, I checked my email one last time. There was a notification from my bank. Payment failed. Mortgage auto transfer. I smiled, imagining the chaos at home. Dad discovering all the accounts frozen. Mom realizing her perfect family facade was crumbling. Carson facing the reality that his safety net had vanished. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Carson, you've ruined everything. I hope you're happy. I blocked the number and walked to the window. The city lights sparkled below, full of possibility. For the first time in years, I could breathe freely. Actually, I said to the empty room, I am happy. I turned off my phone, curled up on my new couch, and slept better than I had in years. Tomorrow would bring more drama, more guilt trips, more attempts to drag me back. But they'd lost their power over me. The good daughter was gone. And she wasn't coming back. Freedom feels strange when you've lived in a cage your whole life. The first week in my new apartment, I kept waiting for someone to tell me what to do, to guilt me about my choices, to demand my time or money. Instead, there was just peace. I established new routines, morning coffee on my tiny balcony, work from my dedicated home office corner, evening walks around my new neighborhood, no one questioning my whereabouts, no one making me feel selfish for spending my own money, but the guilt still crept in, usually at night. Am I a terrible person? I asked Rachel during one of our wine nights. They're still my family. She put down her glass. Play the latest voicemail. I hesitated, then hit play on my backup phone, the one I kept just to document their messages. Isabel, it's Mom. The bank called today. We might lose the house. Your father's blood pressure is through the roof. Carson had to move back home because his apartment. Please, baby. We need you. Family helps family. You're killing us. Rachel stopped the playback. That's emotional terrorism, not love. I know, but... No buts. She refilled our glasses. They're adults who made their choices. Now they get to live with them. My work phone buzzed. Another email from HR. Second notification. Your mother attempted to access the building again today. Security has been notified. See? Rachel pointed at my phone. They're not worried about you. They're worried about their bank accounts. The next morning, Tabitha caught me collecting my mail. This came for you, she said, handing me an envelope. It was sent to your old address, but the post office caught the forwarding notice in time. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside was a notice from the bank. First notice of foreclosure. Bad news? Tabitha asked. Not my problem anymore. I crumpled the notice. Though I should probably warn Rachel. They'll be getting desperate now. I was right. That afternoon, Rachel called. Your brother cornered me in the parking lot. Are you okay? Fine. But Isabel. He seemed different, scared. He said Davis disappeared with what was left of the company funds. I laughed. Karma's not wasting any time. He wanted me to tell you he's sorry, that he needs his sister. Funny how I'm suddenly his sister again, now that he needs money. That night, the voicemails got worse. Your father had a panic attack today. Delete. The bank won't even talk to us anymore. Delete. Is this what you wanted? To destroy your family? Delete. I was about to block another number when a text from Rachel popped up. Turn on the local news. Now. I did. There on the screen was Carson, being led out of his former office in handcuffs. The caption read, Local tech startup founder arrested for investor fraud. My phone exploded with notifications. Mom, what did you do? I hadn't done anything. Yet. But watching Carson's perp walk gave me an idea. I opened my laptop and started compiling documents, bank statements, forged signatures, email trails, everything I'd gathered before leaving. Then I opened a new email to investigationslocalnews.com. Subject, Tech fraud story. Additional information attachment. KR Tech's your evidence. Zip. Thought you might be interested in where some of that startup money really came from. I hit send before I could second-guess myself. Rachel called minutes later. Did you just... They wanted to play family. I watched another police car pull up to my old house on the news. Let's play. Your mom's outside my apartment, she said quietly. Stay inside. I'll call the police. No need. Tabitha's here. She's telling your mom about the restraining order she helped me file this morning. I blinked. You filed a restraining order? Had to. They're escalating, Isabel. This isn't just about money anymore. They're unraveling. She was right. The next voicemail proved it. Mom's voice, barely a whisper. We could lose everything. Please, Isabel, come home. We'll do anything. The police are here and your father, just come home. Please, I saved the message, then texted Rachel. Still think I'm not a terrible person. Her response was immediate. I think you're finally being a smart one. They made their choices. Now they get to face the consequences. I walked to my balcony, looking out at the city lights. Somewhere across town, my family's carefully constructed world was crumbling. Part of me ached to help them, to fall back into old patterns. But then I remembered the forged signatures, the stolen money, the years of manipulation. My phone buzzed again, an email notification. Local news wants to schedule an interview about the KR Tech story. I smiled and hit delete. I didn't need to say anything more. The truth was doing all the talking for me. The news story broke on a Tuesday morning. Tech startup scandal, family fraud scheme exposed, blazed across local headlines. I watched from my work desk as my family's carefully constructed facade crumbled in real time. "Your brother's trending on Twitter," Rachel messaged. Not in a good way. I was about to respond when my supervisor called. "Isabel, your mother's in the lobby." My heart stopped. "I have a restraining order. Security's handling it, but—" She paused. "She's crying, making quite a scene." I pulled up the lobby security feed on my computer. There was Mom, mascara running, clutching photos of me as a child. Classic manipulation tactics, now playing to a very public audience. "Should I call the police?" my supervisor asked. "No." I took a deep breath. "I'll handle it." The elevator ride down felt eternal. When the doors opened, Mom spotted me immediately. "Baby!" She rushed forward, arms outstretched. Security blocked her path. "That's close enough," I said, keeping my distance. "You're violating a restraining order." "A restraining order? Against your own mother?" Her voice rose dramatically. "After everything we've done for you?" People were staring, recording on their phones. Exactly what she wanted. "Everything you've done?" I smiled pleasantly for the cameras. "Like forging my signature, stealing my money, funding Carson's fraud? That's not—" Her face paled. "You sent those documents to the news?" "Actually, I didn't." I moved closer, lowering my voice. "But I did just record you admitting they're real." She stumbled back. "You wouldn't." "Try me." I nodded to security. "Please escort her out. And yes, I want to press charges for violating the restraining order." As they led her away, she screamed, "He's your brother! Family means nothing to you?" "Family meant everything to me," I called after her. "That's why you were able to steal so much." Back at my desk, messages poured in. Rachel. "That video's already on social media." Tabitha. "Police called. Your father's been spotted near the apartment." HR. "Taking additional security measures. Work from home today?" I was gathering my things when my phone rang, an unknown number. "Isabel?" It was Davis, Carson's missing business partner. "We need to talk." "About what? How you stole from my brother after he stole from me?" "No, about how he's been stealing from everyone for years. Check your email." I opened the attachment he sent. Bank statements showing Carson had been embezzling from multiple sources long before Davis disappeared. "Why are you showing me this?" "Because he's telling everyone I took everything, but I only took my share back." Davis sounded tired. "Look, your brother's not the victim here. He's the con man. And you're just the honest thief?" "I'm the whistleblower. Those documents you leaked, they only told half the story." I forwarded his email to the news tip line without responding. Let them sort out which thief was telling the truth. Rachel appeared at my desk. "Your mom's video is viral. People are picking sides." "Of course they are." I checked social media. Our family betrayal was trending. "How's it looking?" "Surprisingly, Most people are on your side, especially after someone leaked the forged documents. My phone buzzed. Carson using another burner number. You happy now? Mom's a mess. Dad's sick. I'm facing charges. Hope your revenge was worth it. I typed back. Ask Davis about the missing money. Oh, wait. He's talking to reporters right now. No response. Rachel touched my arm. You okay? No. I showed her my screen, an email from my old neighbors. Thought you should know. Police are at your parents' house again. Your father collapsed. Don't you dare feel guilty, Rachel warned. I don't. I gathered my laptop. I feel relieved. Is that horrible? It's honest. She helped me pack up. Where are you going? Home. I've given them enough of a show today. In my apartment, Tabitha was waiting. Police caught your father before he got inside. He's been arrested. Good. I poured myself a drink. Maybe jail will give him time to think about his choices. And your brother? I pulled up the latest news update. Second arrest in tech fraud case. Co-founder returns with evidence. Looks like Davis kept better records than Carson expected. My phone lit up. Mom again, using a friend's number. Please, your father's in the hospital. We need you. I blocked the number and turned to Tabitha. They're not going to stop, are they? No. She sat beside me. But you don't have to answer. I know. I watched another news alert pop up. Family fraud scheme widens. More victims coming forward. The truth was spreading faster than they could contain it. Their carefully constructed world wasn't just crumbling anymore. It was imploding. And I had front row seats to the show. The bank took the house on a Thursday. I watched through Rachel's phone as she drove past. The locksmith changing locks. The foreclosure notice taped to the door. Mom sitting on the front steps with her head in her hands. They're putting everything in storage, Rachel reported. Your mom's church friends are there, helping pack. Bet she's loving the attention, I said, sorting through work emails. Actually, they seem pretty cold toward her. Guess stealing from your daughter doesn't play well in church circles. My work phone buzzed. A message from Dad's number. Coffee. Just once. Please. I should have deleted it. Instead, I replied, Courthouse Cafe, 2 p.m., security cameras, witnesses, no drama. Rachel thought I was crazy. He just got out of the hospital. Exactly. He's weak enough to maybe tell the truth. The cafe was busy when I arrived. Dad already sat at a corner table, looking smaller than I remembered. Older. Beaten. You came, he said as I sat down. I'm timing this. You have 15 minutes. He nodded, hands shaking around his coffee cup. We never meant... Stop. I held up my hand. If you're here to justify stealing from me, I'm leaving. We counted on you, he said instead. We thought you'd never leave. That's worse, actually. Your mother's staying with her sister. The church. They've turned on us. Our friends won't return calls. Karma's fascinating, isn't it? He leaned forward. Carson's living in his car. He's your brother, Isabel. Family helps. Don't. I stood up. You don't get to use that line anymore. Not after what you did. We were desperate. His company was a scam from day one, and you knew it. Dad deflated. How did we get here? You got here by stealing from your daughter. I got here by finally walking away. I gathered my purse. 15 minutes are up. Wait! He grabbed my arm. Please, we can fix this. Come home. I yanked free. That's not my home anymore. You made sure of that. Then why meet me at all? To see if there was anything left worth saving. I looked at him, really looked at him. There isn't. Back at work, Rachel was waiting. How'd it go? Carson's homeless, Mom's exiled, Dad's broken, and I feel... nothing. Nothing? Well, maybe a little satisfaction. My phone chimed. A news alert. Local investors file class action lawsuit against KR Tech founders. Your brother's going to jail, Rachel said softly. Good. Maybe he can share a cell with Dad when the fraud charges hit. You're really done with them, aren't you? I showed her my phone. Another message from Dad. He's your brother. Family helps. See that? I deleted the message. That's all I am to them. An ATM with a pulse. Ms. Elizabeth? My assistant poked her head in. There's a call from the DA's office. They want to know if you'll testify about the forged documents. I thought about Mom's tears, Dad's pleading, Carson's smirk when he called me jealous. Tell them yes. Rachel raised an eyebrow. You sure? They want to talk family. Let's talk family, under oath, in front of a judge. My phone buzzed again. A text from Tabitha. Your mother's at the apartment complex again. Police are handling it. I forwarded the message to my lawyer. Add it to the restraining order violations. They're spiraling, Rachel warned. Let them spiral. I'm done catching them. My work email pinged, a message from Davis's lawyer. Client willing to testify about Carson's prior fraudulent activities in exchange for consideration. I forwarded it to the DA's office with one line. Looks like Brother Dearest has more secrets. Rachel touched my shoulder. You know they'll say you destroyed the family. They destroyed it themselves. I just stopped playing along. My phone lit up. Mom using another new number. The church is talking about removing us from the congregation. Your father can't find work. Carson's sleeping in his car. Are you happy now? I blocked the number and turned to Rachel. Actually, I am happy, yeah? Yeah, because for the first time in my life, I'm not responsible for fixing their messes. My email chimed one last time. The DA's office. Court date set for fraud charges. Please confirm your availability to testify. I hit reply. I'll be there. It's time everyone heard the truth about family loyalty. Rachel raised her coffee cup. To Karma. I clinked my cup against hers. To justice. Outside my office window, storm clouds gathered. Somewhere in the city, my family was facing the consequences of their choices, without me to save them, without me to blame. And for the first time, that felt exactly right. The knock came at midnight, 3 sharp raps that made my heart jump. Isabel. Carson's voice, slurred and angry. Open the damn door. I called Tabitha immediately. My brother's here. He's drunk. Police are already on their way, she replied. Stay inside. Isabel! Another pound on the door. I know you're in there. You ruined everything. I turned on my phone's camera, recording. Go away, Carson. You think you're so perfect? Something crashed against my door. You destroyed our family. For what? Money? You mean my money? The money you stole? I was going to pay it back. His voice cracked. The company was going to work, but you had to go digging, had to go running to the press. Actually, Davis did that. I just stopped covering for you. A thud. He must have slumped against the door. Davis betrayed me. Like you betrayed me. That was different. We're family. Not anymore. He started laughing, an ugly, broken sound. You know what's funny? Mom and Dad still defend you. She's just hurt, they say. She'll come around. They don't get it. Get what? That you're cold, empty. You don't care about anyone but yourself. Project much? I moved closer to the door. Who's been living off others his whole life? Who never worked an honest day? Who stole from his own sister? I deserved that money. He slammed something else against the door. I'm the one with vision, with potential. You're just a boring little accountant who's about to testify against you in court. I checked my phone. Police were 1 minute out. Who has all the evidence of your fraud? Silence. Then, you wouldn't. I already did. Check your lawyer's messages. More silence. Then a scratch at the door. Was he trying to pick the lock? Carson, I warned. The police are... The door burst open. He stood there, wild-eyed, reeking of alcohol. Take it back. Call them off. Or what? I backed toward my kitchen. You'll steal from me again? He lunged forward. You little... Police! Freeze! 2 officers burst through my open door, tackling Carson before he could reach me. He went down hard, screaming about family and betrayal as they cuffed him. Tabitha appeared behind them. Are you okay? I nodded, still recording. Got it all on video. You bitch! Carson thrashed as they lifted him. You're not my sister. You're nothing. No, I said calmly. I'm a witness, and you just violated a restraining order on camera. They dragged him out, his threats echoing down the hallway. Tabitha touched my arm. Your hands are shaking. I'm okay. I wasn't, but I would be. Just need a minute. My phone buzzed. Rachel. Just saw police cars. You all right? Carson paid a visit. He's headed to jail. Want me to come over? No, but tomorrow, let's go look at that house I mentioned. The one across town? Yeah. Time to move again. Somewhere they'll never find. The next morning, my lawyer called. Carson's arrest changes things. DA's offering a deal if you testify about the long-term fraud. Tell them I'll do it. Your parents won't forgive this. They haven't forgiven me for leaving. Might as well make it count. Later that day, I drove past the old house. The windows were boarded up, the garden dead. A bank-owned sign stood where Mum's prized roses used to grow. I parked across the street, remembering all the years I'd lived there, all the guilt, all the manipulation, all the lies. My phone chimed, Mum using yet another number. Your brother's in jail. Are you happy now? Is this what you wanted? I got out of the car, walked to the mailbox. Inside my pocket, my old house key felt heavy. Another text. We're your family. How could you do this to us? I dropped the key in the mailbox. It made a small, final sound. One last text. Please, we need you. I took a picture of the foreclosure sign and sent it as my only reply. Then I blocked the number and drove away. At home, Rachel was waiting with takeout. How'd it go? It's done. I handed her a glass of wine. All of it. No regrets. I thought about Carson's face as they arrested him. Mom's tears, Dad's pleading, the house I grew up in, empty and abandoned. No regrets. I raised my glass. Just freedom. Outside, the sun was setting. Somewhere in a jail cell, my brother was learning about consequences. Somewhere in a borrowed room, my parents were facing life without their safety net. And here, in my own space, I was finally, completely free. The courtroom fell silent as I took the stand. Carson sat at the defendant's table, refusing to meet my eyes. Mom and Dad weren't present. They'd chosen not to watch their perfect family fantasy crumble under oath. "Please state your name for the record, Isabel Ryan. And your relationship to the defendant." I looked directly at Carson. "Former family." The prosecutor walked me through it all. The forged documents, the stolen money, the years of financial abuse masked as family obligation. With each piece of evidence, Carson seemed to shrink smaller. "And how much money was taken from your accounts without authorization?" $57,412. "Did the defendant ever intend to repay you?" "Objection!" Carson's lawyer stood. "I'll rephrase." The prosecutor smiled. "Ms. Ryan, did your brother ever make any attempts to repay these loans?" "No. He was too busy buying designer suits and leasing luxury cars with investor money." Carson finally looked at me, his face twisted with hatred. I stared back, calm and steady. After court, Rachel waited outside. "How'd it go?" "He took a plea deal. Restitution, jail time, the works." I breathed deeply. "It's over." "Your parents? Haven't heard from them since—" My phone buzzed. "Speak of the devils!" "A text from Mom. The church took a vote. We're out. Happy now?" I deleted it without responding. "Home?" Rachel asked. "Actually," I pulled out a business card. "There's somewhere I need to be." The women's shelter was small but welcoming. The director, Maria, greeted me warmly. "So, you want to volunteer as a financial advisor for abuse survivors?" "Yes." I sat straighter. "I know what it's like when family uses money as a weapon." "Your story's been in the news." She nodded. "It might help others recognize the signs." "That's why I'm here." I handed her my certifications. "I want to help people escape before they lose everything." "Like you did." "Better than I did. Earlier, smarter." She smiled. "When can you start?" That evening, I found a letter in my mailbox. Handwritten, no return address. Mom's distinctive script. I understand now. It was always you we should have believed in. Not that it matters anymore. You've made your choice. I crumpled it up, then smoothed it out again, added it to my evidence folder, just in case. My phone chimed, a message from Davis's lawyer. "Client's testimony corroborated your statement. Full restitution ordered." Another text followed, from an unknown number. "It's Davis. I'm sorry. For everything." I typed back. "Keep the money. Consider it the price of learning who my family really was." Rachel called moments later. "You're not really letting him keep it?" "I donated it. Maria's shelter needs a financial literacy program." "You're something else, you know that?" "I'm just tired of money being used to hurt people." My doorbell rang. Tabitha with a housewarming gift for my new place. A bigger plant this time. "The other one survived," she said. "Thought you could use a garden. Thank you. For everything. You did the hard part yourself." She touched my shoulder. "Not everyone's strong enough to choose peace over family." My phone buzzed again. The DA's office. "Carson Ryan sentenced. 3 years. Full no-contact order granted." "Good news?" Tabitha asked. "The best kind. Freedom." Later, alone in my new apartment across town, I opened my laptop to find an email from a shelter resident. "Your story helped me leave. Thank you." I started typing a response, but another email popped up. From Dad. "Your mother's not well. The shame, the isolation. We never thought it would end like this. I wrote back 2 words. You did. Then I returned to the shelter resident's email. You're stronger than you know. Trust me, there's life after family, a better one. Let me show you how to build it. My phone lit up one last time. Rachel. Dinner? Can't. Teaching a financial independence class at the shelter. Look at you, turning pain into purpose. I smiled, gathering my teaching materials. More like turning revenge into revolution. Outside, the city hummed with possibility. Somewhere, my family was learning to live without their favorite victim. Somewhere, another person was gathering the courage to escape. And here, in the life I'd built from the ashes of their betrayal, I was finally thriving. Not as a daughter, not as a sister, not as a victim, just as myself. And that was everything.